everyone, back to Pommy and Oz. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I can't thank you enough for the support. And today what we're doing is we're doing the preview for Carlton facing Adelaide Crows. So let's get into it. Third meets 15 in what is a tightly contested AFL season already, albeit early doors. And Adelaide were many teams' pit selections, including my own, for top four. And what we've seen is a real disjointed and kind of lack of cohesion in how the Adelaide Crows are playing. The signs are there that they're still a very good side, and there is no doubt that they are a team to beat when they're on their day. But it does feel like that connection, particularly between midfield and forward, is really starting to wane. Currently at the moment, they are 0-4 with losses to Melbourne, Fremantle, Geelong and Gold Coast. Although playing some very good sides in that, they have been quite disjointed. And a big telltale of that is their lack of ability to hurt the opposition. Ranking almost in the bottom for turnovers. They actually do rank bottom. They are the 8-team side for turnovers. And even more alarming, they are 17th for punishment from stoppage. Their ability to hurt teams from the stoppage situations, which is again an issue for the Blues. The Blues are 4-0, and the Blues have come into this game with a great turnover and transition game. The big complaint at the moment with the Blues is their ability around stoppage. Now, this is going to be a really intriguing battle on paper because the form cards are all with Carlton. They have won their games against Brisbane, against Richmond, and against Fremantle, and obliteration of North to go 4-0. But they have showcased this very quick corridor-type football that's looking to force opposition to mistakes with their pressure, which is warning signs for the Crows. How do these sides play? Now, that's really interesting. Now, when you look at Adelaide and how they look to go about their work, when they're playing well, they're looking to get the ball inside 50 quickly. You start to see that with their halfbacks. That is a real key component. Now, in the last couple of years, they've moved Rory Laird off there. Moira is always injured as well. They've kind of lost that run and stun from that. Now, they have tried to fabricate that, but one big thing we've seen is it's almost trying to be too cute from the half-back line. And where we see these short hit-up leads and these bursts from stoppages, it hasn't quite worked. A big player we want to pick on here is Josh Rachele, who didn't enter any stoppages last week and has been earmarked as that POD in the centre. But what we expect to see from them when they're playing well is a quick run and carry game, going through the corridor and quick hit-up leads. And a man there called Tex Walker who really looks to hit that lead from centre-half forward and almost be in the midfield, which allows that deeper entry. And this really, when it works, is a big bomb at goal from 65 out, or plopping it on top of Mr. Fogarty's head, which it hasn't really worked, and they have found themselves really hit on the overlap and on the transition, particularly teams that have really tried to isolate Fogarty, which here, this game will be interesting because teams, when they've seen Kemp and McGovern, have tried to isolate them too because they ain't giants. And this could be a really intriguing battle because I would imagine Mitch McGovern will go to Fogarty here and will look to try and create that one out, or even Kemp. Now, the problem is with that for Carlton is if they get on their day, they can kill Adelaide. Kemp and McGovern are very good with the intercepts and are very good at channeling it through the tunnel. The other staple of Adelaide's game is their ability to have that extra mark, and when they're playing really well, and we looked last year, it's them hit-up leads, Ben Keys, Tex Walker that we've talked about, coming up deep and then allowing that deeper entry. They were one of the deepest entry teams in the AFL last year, getting the ball into the hot zone very quickly as well. And this year we've seen them almost become more passive in possession and trying to add them layers. And it gives me a very simile to Carlton last year in their rougher patch where it just wasn't cohesive, but you can see they're trying to add a new brand. And this is the fear that we have in the AFL. Some teams stray from their brand and it takes a while to enact. We don't have a long pre-season like we see in other competitions around the globe, which allows them to do it. What do Carlton do well? Carlton really have showcased this pressure, and really they're the #1 pressure giving side and the #1 pressure differential side in the competition. So that also tells us that they can handle a little bit of the furnace. And what that's allowed them to do is play that extra around in the midfield. He has been a Lazio Fantasia or Jordan Boyd this year, and what that allows the boys to do is really set a trap 30 metres away from the possession getter and try and look for an early involvement of interception. We've seen Carlton play in a very high up defensive line, almost not guarding their inside 50, and even at times, as Brisbane showcase, we're not scared at leaving a player out on the back unguarded, trying to encourage that kick. And what it's allowed us to do with Fantasia and Boyd is when the ball comes to deck and they create the spoil and they bring it on the ground, these guys here can use their IQ and good foot skills to pin apart opposition. This could be a key component here, because when you've watched Adelaide in their first 4 games, this is where they've fallen off catastrophically, and it's a real polar shift from the last time these two sides played, where Adelaide were punishing opposition on turnover, Carlton weren't. Carlton were dominant round stoppage, Adelaide weren't, and it was a real myriad of that. So this is going to be a really interesting facet. Players to watch then. Sam Walsh comes back, and for me this is going to be the huge point of difference. In the contest and in the stoppages, Carlton are probably, I wouldn't say one-paced, I'd say one-dimensional. They've got 2 types of players mixed over 4. Sam Walsh is a little bit different. He kicks it up, he can get the game going by foot, and he can look to take the game on. I think instantly this makes Carlton a very dangerous proposition for Adelaide, because he will be raring. There is no way Sam Walsh comes into this game and not be fit. He is going to be an absolute star in this game, and I don't think they have a matchup for him. Carlton will look at their midfield and go, right, this is what we're going with, this is what we're attacking, let's get into it. Adelaide, Ben Keys for me is very key in this game. I think Ben Keys is always Gary Ablett Jr. against Carlton, but that lead-up player who can pinch it in the midfield from high half forward is a key ingredient of their game plan. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nick Newman or Kemp or Adam Sard be going to him. I do predict that Adam Sard will probably go to Rankine, who's another dangerous comer. But Ben Keys' ability to drop from the pocket and get up the ground causes chaos with Carlton zones in the past. That has been very good from the Blues this year, and they have had a plan for it. But this is one to watch for this game, in my opinion. Let's look at the teams then. Well, the teams have been very bold. Carlton have gone with no real changes. Fogarty drops out, Sam Walsh comes in, playing his 150th, and already you can see with the Blues this is going to be a good team. Carlton have gone Brodie Kemp, Whittaker in Newman, Adam Sard, Mitch McGovern, Zach Williams, Oliver Hollands, Patrick Cripps, Blake Acres, Elijah Hollands, Harry Mackay and Matt Kennedy, Lazio Fantasia, Charlie Curnow and Owens, TDK Chera and the Hugh Dog in there, and a sub will be one of these from the bench: Jordan Boyd, Jack Carroll, Matt Cottrell, Sam Walsh and Corey Durden. We probably would guess here at this stage, I think, that it'll probably be Jack Carroll as the sub. Sam Walsh coming in, it gives you the protection of that. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Carlton go bold and play Corey Durden. We do know that Carlton have liked that small forward and that point of difference, but I think Durden's game last week, 8 tackles inside 50, paramount to what they do. Adelaide then, they've brought Nankervis, Butts and Smith in. Will Hamill and Gollan are the guys in, Parnell and Burgess out. Hinge, Dawson and Jones, Saligo, Rankin, Shelley, McHenry, Fogarty, Walker, O'Brien, Laird, Keys, with their sub coming from one of these 5, Worrell, Berry, Crouch, Cook and Gallant. And when you look at this game here, this is going to be really intriguing. I suspect you'll see Adam Sard on Rankin. I suspect you'll see Nick Newman try and take out Keys very early doors. And I'd imagine that Carlton might try and leave Mitch McGovern isolated in the deep and actually play Tex on Whittaker and try and get Mitch McGovern versus Fogarty, because that is going to be a key target from that secondary kick inside 50. If Carlton can get on top of that, it is game over. Obviously, Adelaide, although 0-4, are a team on paper that should be probably 3-1 at worst. So they are going to come out hungry. Carlton, though, I predict here, will run out 18-point winners. Should be a great game. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Can't wait to watch this game on Blue Abroad with you guys and girls. Peace, love and light. Pom out.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella